beautiful, the talented Nanami!
Hello everyone.
Hello.
So first of all, I'm going to show you some pictures of Japanese coin and Japanese temple. So this is a Japanese coin, 10 yen coin. It's about 10 Canadian cents. This is if you look at this side, you can find this temple as a Japanese temple.
Try, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Japanese temple. It's called W12 in Ho-Odo. It's in Kyoto. As you know, there are a lot of famous and traditional places in Kyoto, especially Kyoto. So today I'm going to talk about the conflict about the landscape preservation. Preservation means the act to keep something in a good condition. My top title is Atmosphere of Building. Which one is important? So let's take a look at my roadmap. I'm going to follow this order. The first one, what was the problem? How was the conflict built? How did we solve this problem? Okay, let's start with the first one. What was the problem? So, as you know, there are a lot of famous and traditional places in Japan. So let's look at this picture. This is a picture of W12 in Ho-Odo. So what makes me annoying are these buildings. So as you can see, there are two buildings. Actually, there is one, but the other side, there are two buildings here. And so some people who work in souvenir shop worried about some tourists will decrease because the temple and the buildings don't match each other, and the tourists might be disappointed because of that. So this is a problem about the atmosphere around the temple. So let's move on to the second point. How was the conflict built? I made some timeline for you. W12 in Ho-Odo was built in 1053, and it hasn't changed since it was built. So it became World Heritage Buildings in 1994. So 1994, and these new buildings were built in 1996, 2 years later. 2 years later. The reason why these buildings were built is because Tokyo Olympics. It's in 1964. Most Japanese were very excited and enthusiastic for this big, huge event. And then new and modern buildings were built at that time. The new buildings were made of concrete with a new, modern design and a lot of colors and many kinds of shapes and heights. Then during that time, the Kyoto Tower, it's called the Kyoto Tower in Kyoto, was built. I think this is a trigger of the conflict. The government of Kyoto and people who live around the Kyoto Tower had arguments many times. And they decided to make some laws about maintaining the atmosphere. In 2006, the citizens voted and passed a new law that says when a building is built, the colors and shapes must be considered. And the buildings must be 20 meters or lower. So this is how the conflict was built. So finally, third one is how did we solve this problem? I will show you the pictures, some pictures. This is the 7-Eleven, the picture of 7-Eleven. As you know, this is one of the most famous convenience store in Japan, and you can find it in Victoria or Canada, Vancouver, anywhere. And in Kyoto, it's a little bit different from this basic style. In Kyoto, you can find it like this. Like this, it's so cool. Not everywhere in Kyoto, but some of them are like this. So you can see these kind of buildings in Kyoto. When buildings are built, are designed, they are based on new law, because the new law was created by the citizens. Whether they match the atmosphere or not, it must be considered. So let me give you other examples. So in this picture, can you find a vending machine here? Yeah, here. And this is a vending machine. It's covered by wood frame to match this atmosphere. It's the old style house, and it seems like old. So, and another example, it's like McDonald's and telephone booth, and even it's a Mercedes-Benz, the branch of Mercedes-Benz. So these are how they solved the problem. Now I told you these three main points. What the problem was, how the conflict was built, how we solved this problem. So now I realized that how I love the sensibility of Japanese culture, and I want to being part of that. So I hope we can maintain this culture for a long time. Thank you.